Hey, what's happening, all you future babies out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you with another episode review of Steven Universe Future. It's episode 13, titled Together Forever. Let's jump in. As we start off the episode, Steven is talking with Connie on one of her 15-minute breaks. 'Cause girl be studying, trying to get that college, trying to be making that good bread. But when the call ends, it was very clear during the course of that call that Steven was very interested in just spending time with Connie because, well, Connie makes him feel good. He enjoys spending time with Connie. There's purpose in spending time with Connie. Connie helps him cope with this emptiness that he feels inside of himself. However, when he actually looks over the brochure that Connie left the last time she was over, it shows just how far away Connie's going to be. Now, note, it's literally a short line ride away. Yes, she will be far away, but Lion can literally teleport anywhere. You can see her whenever you want, and you have technology. You can literally just video call her whenever. But that's not the point. It's the fact that she'll be farther away from him than she ever has since they met. And that takes a toll on Stephen for the most part. And so he goes to Garnet to get a little advice. However, both Ruby and Sapphire have their own classes to teach, so they split, leaving Stephen to talk with Ruby a little bit about his situation. We find that Ruby has a scout regiment, I guess, where she leads them on various different badge missions. So, just like regular Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, you do certain tasks, you get a badge. That's basically how this works. So yeah, that's whole Ruby's whole thing. It's just like do this thing, you get a badge. Do that thing, you get a badge. All well and good. But when Steven talks with Ruby about the whole situation, it comes to the realization that he doesn't know what he feels. You know, with everything that's been going on, the emptiness he's been feeling, Connie is the only thing that makes him feel complete, makes him feel whole, makes him feel valued. And he comes to the realization that his life is Connie. That's what he wants it to be. He feels that ultimately Connie is his everything. With Ruby kind of reinforcing that maybe, just like she did with Sapphire, maybe Steven should ask Connie to marry him. That seems to be what Ruby feels would be the best option for Steven. And Steven kind of rolls with it, but Ruby tells Steven to go talk with Sapphire just to kind of suss out if this is the right course of actions. So Steven goes to Sapphire and she uses this as a teaching moment for her class, saying that ultimately this should be Steven's choice. Before Sapphire met Ruby, there was no vision of the future that their union would ever happen, that anything involving them becoming Garnet was even a remote possibility. But their love changed the future, changed time, changed reality. It shifted everything. So Sapphire tells Stephen to go for it because love can never be wrong. So Stephen gets all the good fixins and the this, that, and the other, meets Connie at one of her 15-minute breaks, using Lion as an excuse to get her out and to get her back on time and all that good stuff. They take a walk down the beach. It's beautiful. It's romantic. Steven takes her to the spot where they first met all those years ago back in season 1, sits her down for a nice little picnic, serenades her with a brand new song he's made. Man, this dude is macking out something fierce. And then he gets down on one knee, and with one of the glow sticks that's very similar to when they first met, he proposes to her, asking her to be Stevani with him forever. Because when they're Stevani, he knows everything that she's thinking, everything about her. He understands her unequivocally. and they are their closest when they are Stevani. And Connie, understandably, is very taken aback by this. Feels that they're rushing into this, that Steven is rushing into this, that they should at least talk about this whole situation. But Steven wants to be Stevani with Connie forever, that to always be a part of her life, that maybe that's what he needs, what they need in order to just live their life together forever. They should always be fused. But Connie says that no, I have my own life. You have your own life. This isn't something we should be just rushing into being together forever. While she doesn't say no, that she doesn't want to be with him for the rest of her life, she feels that this isn't the right time, the right way to go about any of this. This what he's doing right now, while it's sweet, it's not the right time for any of this, for them to be together in that way. But her alarm goes off, beckoning her back to studying. She says that maybe no, this isn't the time for any of that, but Stephen encourages her to go back to studying. That he'll be fine, they'll talk about it later, they'll work everything out. He just needs a little bit of time. So he sees her off and he slams into the ground with unimaginable force. And he just sits there, wallowing in his sadness until night falls. He crawls out of the hole he made, and there's Garnet. He talks things over with Garnet, questioning, the fact that Ruby and Sapphire seem to think it was okay, but Garnet tells him no, yet they're hopeless romantics. Of course they weren't the people to go to advice for about all this. And when he questions why Garnet couldn't predict this and help him avoid this, Garnet says that there was no possibility of him not asking Connie to marry him. That was always going to happen. He was always going to ask her at some point. If anything, this was probably the most lightest point for him to do this. The less amount of repercussions, I guess you could say. It was better to just do it now and just get the bitter moment over and done with. And, well, Steven does kind of blame Garnet for making a relationship together seem so easy. Garnet admits that ultimately Steven has a hole in his life that he's trying to fill. And with Ruby and Sapphire, they complement each other, but they don't complete each other because that idea is kind of false. You shouldn't need someone else to complete your life. They should make it better, but they shouldn't be a requirement, which is something very deep for her. Just like this is a very deep comment, but yeah, a lot of people rush into relationships thinking that they complete you, that the other person is what you need in order to be better, to get better, to just live. But if that's the case, they're the worst thing for you. Because if something should ever happen to them or they ever fall out of love with you, then what? What do you have? Nothing. If you need someone else in order to complete your life, then maybe you shouldn't really be seeking that person out. That's a lot of stress to put on someone. And that's something that Steven unfortunately had to learn the hard way. Connie has her own life to live, and it's high time Steven got his own. As he stuffs his face with the broken cake. What a bitter episode. I remember in the last review I commented on the fact that it was one of the few episodes that didn't end with me just feeling really bad for Steven and kind of personally attacked on some things because I've been down that road that Steven has been, but the difference was the person didn't reciprocate the feelings like Connie does. And I destroyed a lot of my life in the process. I will be paying for those mistakes for a long, long time. But it's better that Steven gets all this out of the way while he's young, because he still has time. But unfortunately, Steven feels that he doesn't have much time, that he needs to press forward, that he needs to find something for himself. And that's where the mistakes are being made. But this was a very, very deep episode. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. How did you feel about all this? Do you feel that ultimately he should have been able to get around this whole heartbreak? Or do you feel that this was a necessary situation for Steven to grow and develop as a person? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another episode review of Steven Universe Future. And I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.